Hi there, Fraser here from Coldstream Rod Shop. I am going to start working on the 32 pickup hood. I've got an original hood and we have to take it apart. So over here on the bench, I've got it sitting. I have previously taken one apart already. Basically, you've got to knock the rod out. This one came out quite easily. The other one is not so much fun, so I've had to soak it with a little bit of WD-40. Essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a metal rod here and I'm going to tap it until I can get the rod out the other end. Just have to keep straightening the rod because it's bending. Once I get it out so far, then I'm going to put a pair of vice grips on the end of the rod. And there we go, rod is out. Now I'm going to start stripping the pieces. The hood themselves are in really good shape, the top. So there's probably going to be very little body work I'm going to have to do to it. It's an original hood. No real dents or anything on it. A couple little imperfections. So basically strip it down to bare metal, epoxy prime it, put some high-built primer onto it, and then we should be good to go. One of the hood sides has some damage to it. So we're going to have to do a little bit of repair work here. And then also down here in the bottom I'll have to fix that up. I think one of the louvers here also, on one of them, there's a dent in it, so I'll have to fix that. So follow along, I'll be adding to this video and we'll finish the hood. Hi, roadside now, sandblasting the hood, windshield frame, and the fenders. Pulled the hood all apart. I buffed it. I'll show you some of the tools that I used to buff off the rust before I sandblasted some. Right now the weather was pretty good here. It's a little windy right now. We're going to finish sandblasting one of the fenders here until I run out of sand. I recycle some of the sand in a bucket there with the screen. Scoop it up, and you can use it a couple times. So as you can see from the video, I had some struggles with the sandblaster. I had a really good run. I have the top of the hoods here, the tops and the two sides all sandblasted, all ready for primer. I've got the windshield frame and the windshield bracket all ready for primer. I've got some of the fender done, but then as you saw in the video there, the sandblaster got clogged up. So what happened, temperature dropped about 10 degrees. And I started to get water buildup in the compressor, my pipes over here. We've got a water separator that I may have shown in a previous video. Basically, the compressor runs through these copper pipes, and at the bottom of the copper pipes, I've got drains. They were all full of water because basically the air condensed when it got cold. And then even here, the water trap on the sandblaster and the water trap over here were full, so I was fighting a losing battle. The sand got wet, so what I'm going to have to do is take this apart, take the valve off the bottom, and basically get the wet sand out of it before I get going. It's happened before. Like I said, I had a really good run. I got a lot done. It didn't act up at all, but that's one of the problems with sandblasting. If you don't have like a professional grade water separator or something, water is your enemy. Anyways, we'll get that fixed and get going. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I was doing for prep work on this. On the inside of the fenders, what I did before I sandblasted it is I used Scotch-Brite pads here, both on the air sander and the electric one. So I'll just show kind of what I was doing to prep it. You can buy this Scotch-Brite pad. It costs about Canadian, it's about 30 bucks. It actually lasts quite a while. I was amazed. I did the inside and the outside of the hood, got it prepped before I sandblasted it, take everything off. But all I'm going to do is just basically scale it. It's going to make some noise here for the camera lady, but you can buy the one for the mini grinder, the 4.5 or a 5-inch one off of Amazon. Works pretty good. You can also buy these ones for the air one. Same thing. It's a 3M Scotch-Brite pad. Here, it's a twist on, twist off. There it is right there. Same thing. Just saves a little bit of time sandblasting. Because if any of you did it, sandblasting is not fun. So that's it. It's long and tedious. I'm not going to show you me doing the rest of the fender here, but that's what you got to do to get the rust off before you prime it. So I'm going to carry on with this fender, the other fender, and then we'll show you me priming them. Behind the camera lady, inside of the Roadster there, are my rear fenders. Those are reproduction fenders. We are going to basically just use 120 flapper disc and take all the rust off of those and then hit them with primer at the same time. So the intention here is to get the front fenders, the hood, and the windshield frame all epoxy primed in this video. Here we are the next day. I continued scaling one of the fenders with these 3M Scotch-Brite pads on the air sander, and it works really well, but it's probably not the best choice. A lot of the pressure onto it forced the little plastic thing to break off. I eventually concluded that it was much easier to take the fender that wasn't scaled with this, and I actually got the sandblaster all cleaned out, got the water out of the system as I was telling you about, and actually made some really good time on the last fender. So I touched everything up. I got all the fenders completely sandblasted. These fenders originally, as you probably, if you saw from one of the videos that we did, were in pretty rough shape. I've got them basically all physically straight and everything else. There's a couple little dents I'm going to have to knock out here and there kind of thing. I've got 3 coats of epoxy primer onto it right now. So I'm going to seal everything up from underneath as I go along, and then I'll do I'll do the body work on this with a skim coat. So got the 2 fenders done. Inside my homemade spray booth here. I also have the 2 hood tops and the 2 sides all done. The hood tops are fantastic shape. I'm probably not going to have to do a single thing to them, except for just basically put the high build in and paint them. The 2 hood sides, I had to make a couple repairs here underneath the hold down brackets. There's a little bit of nasty rust that gets in behind those, but these are original hood sides, like they're 90 years old. And there's a tiny little ding here in one of the louvers. I straightened it out, flattened it out. I'm probably going to have to put a ever so slight amount of body fill onto it. So the hood sides are all ready to go, and the tops. As soon as everything dries out here in a few hours, I'm going to spray the windshield frame as well. So once I get the windshield frame sprayed with epoxy primer, it was pitted, heavily pitted. So we'll seal it up with the epoxy primer. I'll skim everything. I'll put a coat of black paint onto it, and then I'm going to take it to a glass shop and have him put the glass in, and that'll be done. The running boards and the rear fenders, I physically didn't have the room to get them in here. We're going to do that on another episode. So that's basically the fenders and the hood. We'll carry on with this. Like I said, get it painted hopefully in the next week and get the fenders and stuff and the hood over onto the 32 pickup. So that's it for now. I know this isn't the most exciting kind of body work to do, but it all has to be done in the bigger picture of doing a project like this. So everybody take care. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks.